I'm Susie Rosenbluth from the Jewish Voice and Opinion. A lot of people who have called our paper feel that the entire controversy and a lot of the acrimony has to do with anti-Orthodox feelings from many people in town. I think it's wonderful that nothing about that was said here, and I didn't hear anything at all about it, but I'm not making something up that I'm sure you haven't heard. I'm wondering if you could comment on that, on those feelings and the way people feel, since people are talking about bringing the community together.
Neither Marty or I'll speak for myself, mentioned anything about anybody being Orthodox or not being Orthodox. And I think it's not relevant to this particular discussion. But I think Susan's right. There is a lot of discord in town. If you read anything, if you go to meetings, you'll see it. I think there are good people in this town, like Kibi Fight and other people, who want to bring people together. I've been suggesting dialogues. I've been suggesting working through the clergy council to try to get people together to face each other on face-to-face and try to talk these issues out. And we've had a meeting with Mayor Katz and with other individuals back in February about this, but I suggested those things then, but nothing has come out of that, unfortunately. And I would like to see more come out of that, and I suggested that at the last council meeting as well.
You know, I've heard a lot of discussion here tonight.
Who are you?
Councilwoman Monica Honis, Teaneck Township Council, elected 2004. All right, I'm up in 2008, and I'm here to stay. But that's beside the point. What I'm here to say is we've had a lot of people say that the Township Council should take the lead behind this. We should get together. We should be the ones trying to bring people together. But I think some of you may have forgotten, and some of you may not have been in those council chambers for the past 3.5 years that I've sat there, because Councilwoman Cates, the former mayor, and myself, and other people have long pushed for community relations, for bring people together, to incorporate our diversity, not let it break us up, not let us split us up. But unfortunately, with the current tenor that we have been pushed aside and said those goals are not as lofty and important as development. And I'm sorry, based on the crowds that I have been seeing for the past 2.5 months, I think some of my colleagues are wrong that bringing people together is not important. And so I want you to know, Debbie, that that is not something that myself and Councilwoman Cates have sat on our duffs and just let go by. We have been stressing this over and over and over. So I want you to know that, okay? Thank you.
For anybody out there who is listening, Marty and I would agree to replicate tonight's report anywhere in town. That includes any religious institution, including the Orthodox community that wants to hear this, is interested in hearing this. We will certainly replicate that any place that we get invited. Randall?
Randall Day, briefly a council member and rector here at St. Mark's. I'll say again what just in response to this earlier comment, that my assessment of everything going on in town is that it has nothing to do with religious issues. And, but that goes to the comment that I was going to make. And that is, I think certainly anybody should, move ahead with whatever investigation can be done, either locally in the county or on a state level, to resolve this matter, simply so that it can be resolved, so that we can know what the answers are. I think all of us in the room need to face the possibility that that won't happen, at least not satisfactorily. And then we have to face, what are we going to do then? I mean, that's the real question. And what are we going to do as a township? What are we going to do as neighbors? What are we going to do from neighborhood to neighborhood about our life together and how we have elections in this town and how we build and care for the relationships we have in this town? The thing that we know that we don't need to have the prosecutor or the Attorney General or any of the elections officials tell us is that this happened. It did happen. We've seen the postcards, many of us got them in the mail. We understand what they are. We can read for ourselves what they say. Most of us recognize, compared to any other campaign literature that we've ever seen in Teaneck, that these were peculiar. You can like them, you can not like them, you can agree with them, you can disagree with them, but they were strange. We've never seen anything like this in a Teaneck election. We've never seen anything produced like that. We've never seen anything that slick. We've never seen anything that anonymous. I mean, they were odd. So then the question for all of us is, why? Why did that happen? Who was benefiting from that? And those are the questions that we really need to work on together as a community to say, what would have been worth doing that for? And that's something we can start working on now. We don't have to wait for the prosecutor or the attorney general or from some election official to come back with some report and point a finger at some individual. We can start right now to say, what was the benefit of doing this odd thing? And getting to the bottom of that, that's something that we can do and that no one can do for us. And even if the prosecutor came back with some investigation and pointed a finger at somebody, we'd still have to answer this question. So how are we going to be working on that question? What was going on that was worth creating a suspicion of a religious difference? What was worth making this kind of animosity in the community? Who was going to benefit from that? Who was going to have the gain as a result of that? And no matter what happens as a result of this investigation, we're still going to need to answer that question for ourselves. And then to bring that into what we as a community are going to hold up as the standards that we expect for the future. But once again, if you ever hear anybody talking about these issues as if they were religious issues, realize that that's a smokescreen to get us off kilter. Because these are not religious issues. These have to do with other issues that may have to do with development, may have to do with power, may have to do with influence. But those are the things that we need to find out and answer for ourselves satisfactorily, no matter what happens here. Thanks.
Hold on, Jackie.
I think the Jewish voice and opinion would have a very important place in this. You have previously in elections, and if you see this as an issue that is not an anti-Orthodox issue, it's not sure. There are people who have different feelings about it. I know in this room it was not. That doesn't mean that the entire community is not.
I